I got to play that one more time. Get me hopping here. Well, good afternoon, or like I said last week, good evening. It's a little bit dark, but it's getting close to that time change this weekend. I think it is for we get to spring forward finally. But again, welcome to another edition of Davies American. And I knew so you'd be the first one on there. How you doing, sweetie? We're going to give it a few more minutes, so we're going to do this a little bit more, get some more people on here. Hey, Donnie, if you're out there listening, go ahead and click on that link I sent you. I might even send them a text first here as my special guest tonight. Donnie Richardson, a great friend of mine and a great racer as well. Out of the pro stocks were really down for a while, but they all brought them back up. Oh, I don't have to send him one. He's on there. I can see his face right now on the bottom of the screen there. So we're going to put him, as they say, in the hallways for a little bit. Welcome, Donnie. And I'll get you on in a few minutes, waiting for other people to come on. And before we go any further, so Dan McKee's on here. Dan, you know Donnie Richardson. I think you do. And if you don't, you've probably seen him out here racing at Rattlesnake Raceway, or maybe they're in Fernley 95A Speedway. But again, second week in March, a lot of racing has started already, especially in California, except for last weekend. About 3 tracks got rained out due to Mother Nature. Keller Auto Speedway, Bakersfield Speedway, and I can't remember the other track that got rained out as well. And it might have been Paris. I'm not sure. He is the green room there. You probably see him before. Yeah. Okay, I got a Facebook user. What's up, Davey? Do me a favor, Mr. Facebook user, or Mrs. or Miss Facebook user. Go to my homepage on Davies America, not Davies American, but my regular homepage on Facebook, and you'll be able to click a link on there, and that link's going to put your name up so I can see it on the message or the comments here. It says Facebook user. So just go to my page and click on the link there, and it'll put your name up there. Okay, so I'm good. I have such much over this weekend. And Sunday, that's right, you had a big practice there at Merced Speedway. I was going to go Madera Speedway, but it was Merced Speedway. They had their big opening down there. They did a lot of in fact, this week they're doing a lot of changes to the racetrack. They're going to laser it. Yep, laser it. And just about every piece of equipment out there is being run by the computer with the laser track. So watch out, maybe bigger and faster, may get 2 or 3 wides going through the turns. You never know. Hey, Harvey, how you doing, buddy? Sean Jackson. Sean was on here last week. I haven't seen Sean for a while, but we had a nice little phone call for about a half hour last weekend. It was good to have a nice chat with him. In fact, he invited me out to the track where he's promoting it now. It's good to see he's a promoter, another race driver turning promoter. If you ever look at it, a lot of these racetrack guys have been racing for quite a while, and they take over promoting the tracks. They do quite well. Sean, send me the name of the track again. I forgot the name of the track that you're promoting. He's turning that place around where he's got a lot of cars coming out. A lot of the fans are coming back out. Ricky Lloyd, first time ever got called Facebook user. There you go, Ricky. How you doing, buddy? But yeah, he has turned it around there. In fact, he invited me out one weekend to go out there and help Mr. John, the track announcer out there. John and I, we go back many, many years as well. To have a good weekend out there and do some announcing with him. So I told him I'd take it up, and he says he could use my 5th wheel, and I could stay in his 5th wheel. And I'm going to do it. Ricky, doing great. That's good to hear. Salmon Valley Speedway, that's what it is. That's what it is. Sean, I was really happy to talk with you on the phone the other day and find out what you're up to. So that's just pretty good. All right, Angelo, how you doing, buddy? I see your name on Facebook, doing a lot of questions there, trying to get things hopefully started with some of the racing and get it all started here in Nevada. But, we don't race until the end of March or the 2nd or 3rd week in April. But again, we'll be covering a lot of that in about maybe starting next week or the closer we get to April. We'll start covering some of the tracks here in Nevada for their racing schedule coming up and what's happening here in Nevada. If you haven't heard about it, they did it last year. They're going to do the same thing this year. Instead of racing one night every other week or whatever, they went to 2 nights of racing once a month. That's what all the tracks here in Nevada, except down for Romp, they're going to run their weekly races, and they got like 35 races scheduled for their down there, but they run by themselves, and they're not going to hurt us, and we're not going to hurt them on a car count anyway, even though we do get some drivers from down south there come up here to northern Nevada and do some racing. But it's good to have them here. It's good to see them. I met a lot of them when, let's see, I want to go back maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I was on my way to California to announce down there in Porterville, Rocky Hill Speedway, for their Thanksgiving 3-day racing weekend that you usually have down there. And I stopped one time down there for Romp, and I was invited to go announce their opening weekend, which was really, really good. So, and I've been there 2 or 3 times after that too. Nice little track. Let's see, before we get into NASCAR or anything, Dan, Test and Tune this Saturday and Sunday, as well as next weekend at Diamond Mountain Speedway. Yes, that's right. This Saturday and Sunday, they are opening up for a Test and Tune this weekend, which is good. John Myers, how you doing there, buddy? There's John right there. John, I was just talking about Sean Jackson there and get the invite. In fact, I had the invite from you earlier before Sean even asked me to help you announce out there. John Myers getting the track announcer at Salvage Valley Speedway. So, and it's like everybody's moving out of California, which is a good thing, though, but that's okay. Brian Childress, how you doing, buddy? Man, I got people on here I have not seen or talked to for quite a while there, back there in California. Well, of course, John, he was long time California resident. Did what a lot of us are doing, moving out. But back to the tracks here in Nevada, yeah, we won't open for another 2, 3, 4 weeks down the road. Clint Ford, how you doing, buddy? Good to have you on here as well. Got a great guest, Donnie Richardson, out of California. A good friend of mine as well. Met him. I've known him for a while, but we really didn't start talking to each other till about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was. But we knew who each other was, and that's when we really started talking. Until he's going to try to do a little promoting this year as well. And then we're going to talk about the pro stocks in California, Oregon, Washington, and here in Nevada. And we got a bit of very, very special announcement to make, which I know some of you know about this announcement we are going to be making, and some of you don't. That's why I wanted Donnie on here so we can start advertising that special announcement. And again, as they say, like Dan says, he's in the green room. Give me a smile. There, yeah, he's smiling. You guys can't see him. I can, and I'll bring him on in a little bit. All right, we got quite a few people. Roy Bain, how you doing, buddy? How's everything going? I see you see who's on here tonight, Donnie Richardson. All right, let's do what. Oh, you know what? Again, I want to thank a lot of people from last week. Out of the hospital, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, somewhere around there. And last Monday was my last day for my infusions, all that. And then I finally got to see my main doctor that was been handling my disease doctor. Let's put it that way, but it's actually my cancer doctor. So he's doing double duty. Saw him yesterday. They gave me a clean bill of health. Says, go on doing what you need to do. Put the weight back on. Start eating the dinners the way you're supposed to, because my taste buds are back. The injections they give me, I can't remember the name of it. It's about that long. Kind of killed my appetite a little, well, more than a little. But Monday night, I had a big old salmon dinner. I ate the whole thing. In fact, I had to stop myself from eating. That's just how much I wanted to eat more and more and more. But that's starting to come back too. But again, gave me a clean bill of health, except I got it for another 30 days. I got to take some more pills, but it's oral this time, so I don't have to do the injection. And those injections actually slowed my body down. It got to me. But this time it's just a pill. And he said none of that effect that you had over this one will do the same thing. So just go on with your life. Isaac Reed, what's going on, buddy? The man, the myth, the legend, Davey Munoz. Love you, brother. Glad you're rocking. Thank you, Isaac. Johnny S. Albanese. Another longtime buddy of mine. We met back in 86, 87, someplace back there at Baylands Raceway or Fremont Track Strip, and then Baylands Raceway. Yeah, how you doing, guy? Dale DeWitt, what's going on there, buddy? Haven't seen you for a while. But yeah, back to health and everything a go. All right, let's get into the program, what it's all about, and it's all about racing. Get some of the wires out of here. There we go. All right, let's move right into NASCAR. Of course, they were in Las Vegas on March the 6th, or a couple of days ago on Sunday. You know what? Before I give you the finishes here, there's 2 races in a row I've watched with NASCAR. Normally, I don't watch the whole thing, especially when they're on the big super speedways. I don't like it. I watch the Great American Race all the way through because I do that every year simply because it's called the Great American Race. And then Sunday's race, I started to watch it, and I was going to turn a movie on like I normally do in NASCAR and flip back and forth, see who's leading. But again, I watched the whole race, which was, pretty good race. I've got my complaints about it, but that's okay. But I hold back. I just say I don't like NASCAR the way they changed things, but I think they're in a right direction. As a guess, the fans are back. They're buying the tickets. So this new generation cars may be what they've been looking for. Racing, again, is side by side with each other. And a lot of the drivers are still learning how to drive those cars. And they got other setups in the cars they're still trying to get used to. But again, I think they're going in the right direction. That doesn't mean I'm going to fall back in love with NASCAR. I love my short track racing. All right. Alex Bowman picked up the win on Sunday. Kyle Larson led quite a few laps, but he ended up second. I don't know if you saw when he took his helmet off, getting out of his car, that disgusted look he had on his face. I could say something about it, but I won't. But he did finish second. And I don't think he wanted to be interviewed because they did not interview him for finishing second. Third was Ross Chastain. Fourth, Kyle Busch. And then William Bryan was fifth. Like I said, it was a pretty good race. And see what happens when the next race, when they head to, we'll find out right now where they're headed for. Okay, let's go back a page here. Come on. Okay, let's go to the schedule for NASCAR. Computer running a little slow today. It's probably Wednesday and they know it. Okay, let's go to March. The heck? Good Lisa, I don't want that. Okay, that's gone. Good. Okay, let's go to March. I want to go to March, not February. Okay, here we go. Okay. Next race will be on the 17th. Yeah. It'll be a Thursday. Oh, no. We've had that race already. It didn't go to March on me like I wanted to. All right. Again, we just got done here in Vegas. So this Sunday, March the 13th, it'll be Rough Mortgage 500 at Phoenix Raceway. Now, that race, I wouldn't mind being there watching that race, especially up on the hillside there, just kicking back at Phoenix. That's a pretty good race there, too, to be on Fox Network and MRN Radio. Again, check your local listing times. They got it down at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to start. So it'll be about 1:30 our time here in, or does Arizona have a time? I don't know. Check your local listings for that race there in Phoenix. Avondale, Arizona, 312 laps and 312 miles. So 312 laps, 312 miles. That only tells you one thing. It's a mile track. And then March the 20th, the following week, there'll be the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 and making the long trip across the states to Atlanta Motor Speedway there in Hampton, Georgia. That'll be on March the 20th. And their final race in March will be at Austin, Texas, Circuit of Americas, Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. Let's see, it'll be in Austin, Texas, in 68 laps, 231 1.88 miles. Again, that'll finish the month of March for NASCAR. And again, with the finishes over the weekend there, you can go to NASCAR.com and pick up the rest of the finishes as well. If I was here to do it, we'd be here all night, all the way down to 30 cars. But I know one thing. Mr. Wallace, I'll call him Mr. Wallace, finished like 27th, where he normally is. But he got taken out towards the end there. Wasn't his fault, but it got taken out. That's okay. Let's go to the World of Outlaws. They were in Cotton Bowl Speedway there. They had 2 nights. They were there on Friday night and Saturday night over the weekend. Let's go to Friday night's results. Billy Griffin, what's up, buddy? Okay, on Friday night, Sheldon Hottenchild picking up the main event. Second was Corey Eliason out of Visalia, California. Brad Sweet finishing third. Brad was your 2021 champion, and I believe he's third or fourth in points right now, but we'll go to that in a couple minutes here. And Logan Hart was fourth. Fifth was Donnie Schatz. I'm going to give a shout out to another California driver. 3 California drivers finishing in the top 6 now, as Giovanni Salzi was 6. So that was pretty good. Let's go to Saturday night. And they called that the Texas Two-Step for the weekend of racing there at the Cotton Bowl Speedway. Come on. There we go. All right. Carson Macedo, California, Lamar, California, picking up the main event win. Sam Hepperty was second out of Texas. James McFadden was third. He's out of... Uh-oh, you guys got to kill me. I forgot where NT, what state that is. That's all right. Logan Sherhart was fourth. Fifth was David Gravel. Brad Sweet finished seventh. Brock Zephos was sixth. And again, if you want to go to the web pages there, and you can pick up the complete listing of the finishes. Okay, let's go to here for their schedule. Okay, this weekend, the World of Outlaws will be in California for 2 days, March the 11th and the 12th. They'll be at the Thunderbolt Raceway. It'll be a Friday and Saturday night, which will be pretty good. I may even take a road trip this week, and I'm not sure, because I can go. Yesterday, what they did, too, they took the pick out of my line, so I don't have to get myself anymore. And they took the pick out, and Dr. Vomney faced the opposite way, and I'm talking. I said, when you pulling it out? He says, it's been out for 2 minutes. I didn't even feel it coming out. Okay. They'll be there. And then it's the late models. And then Friday, March 18th. Oh, I know you're going to love this. They'll be coming to Merced Speedway in Merced, California on Friday, March the 18th. And then that Saturday, the next day, they'll take a little 3-hour road trip to it'll be the Outlaw Showdown there at Ocean Speedway in Watsonville, California. And then Friday, March the 25th, they'll take another 3-4 hour drive. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Spit Cars there at Bakersfield Speedway. They have not been there for quite a while. Merced, they haven't had them there for quite a while. So it's good to see the swing back here in California, or for those people there in California, let's put it this way. And then Saturday or Friday, March 25th, they'll go to, that's the late models, Paris Auto Speedway on March the 26th. That should be the final stop for the World of Outlaws here in California. Well, they're in California. Still kind of serious. I've been 8 years here in Nevada, still saying, in California, here for me. But again, go to the World of Outlaws, and you can pick up all the point standings, all those finishes, and the schedule for them, and catch up on some of the news. All right, let's go to the World of Drag Racing in NHRA. This weekend, March 10th, starting tomorrow through the 13th, Gainesville, Florida, Gator Nationals. That's always one of their biggest races of the year for the Gator Nationals. Don't have any listings. We already gave the listings out last week. On the last weekend, they ran here at Las Vegas there, or they're coming up on Vegas. Or let me see. Hang on here. I might have that mixed up. I'm going to take this computer in. It's getting kind of slow. Okay. That's February. We want to go to March. March 13th. Okay, we just Gainesville, Florida. Okay, they'll be making their road trips to, okay, Gator Nationals, March 10th and 13th. Then on April 1st through the 3rd, it'll be the NHRA 4 White Nationals right here at the Strip at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Some of my personnel here at Top Gun were just down there recently. Our president and a couple some other people down there were down there, and they're going to have to make another trip down there pretty soon too as well. But again, they'll be at the Strip in Vegas on April 1st through the 3rd. All right, let's go to Top Gun drag trip right here in Fallon, Nevada, my home track. All right, coming up in May 13th through the 15th, it's the NorCal Nostalgia Duel in the Desert time. What this is, a lot of you know what nostalgia cars are, the front engine jobs, where a lot of the drivers sit right on front of the transmission and the drive shaft is right, you know where. Yeah, that's right, the private parts. But it's good to have them out there. Should get quite a few cars out here for the duel in the desert on May 13th through the 15th. In fact, I just got an email from one of the directors down there. We got to touch bases with them and get some little write-ups and get some information going on here. So I can put it up on the website and here on the radio program for Davies American Racing. All right. Let's see what else is on. Okay, I have to make sure. If you are going to come during our race weekends, great place to stay will be at the Comfort Inn and Suites here in Fallon. Mention Top Gun Race to who's ever checking in, and they're going to give you a great discount because it's normally $100+ to spend a night. They're going to drop it down to $89. So make sure you mention Top Gun Race, and they will give you the racer's discount for staying at the Comfort Inn and Suites. There's some good people out there as well. All right, let's go to our schedule coming up. Oh, I should have taken a snapshot of this photo we got up here. 2 rear engine jobbers going down the strip down there. I'll see if I can do that next weekend. Okay. Opening test and tune weekend will be in April the 9th for a test and tune. We'll start at 10 a.m. all the way till 4 p.m. So again, that's Saturday the 9th. Then our opening weekend will be April the 23rd. We'll have a TNT in the morning from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we'll schedule in during our regular racing as well for a TNT. But it'll be for route number 1, Summit ET and Junior Drags. And that'll start at 2 p.m. all the way to 6 p.m. Again, we'll start at 10 a.m. in the morning till 6 p.m. And then right after that last run, we're going to close things down, do a little track prep, clean it up for the next day. But that night, right there underneath the announce tower, will be our 2021 awards presentation and potluck dinner. We did this last year, and it worked out really, really good. Everybody enjoyed it. In fact, we had more people than we would normally do. We used to have our banquets in Fernley here, and just down the street, down the road, I should say, about 20 miles, and that's where they've had the dinners before. But due to the pandemic, we didn't have it the year before that one, but last year we did have it at the track. They really enjoyed it, and they wanted us to do it again. So that's what we're going to do right after the racing on Saturday in our 2021 awards presentation and potluck dinner. Then we'll come back, and some of these guys go wake up from a little bit of a hangover on Sunday morning. It'll be round number 2 with our Summit ET and Junior Drags number 2 and TNT. Again, that'll start at 10 a.m. And then on Friday the 13th is always a good weekend to do this. It'll be our first $5 night grudge racing and our North California nostalgia and some TNT. So we're going to get a lot of grudge racing. What that means, that $5 is spectators can get in for $5 on Friday night. Now, what you can do is instead of paying the $5, hand them a $20 bill. What's that going to allow you to do? It's going to allow you to take your own personal car, truck, motorcycle, and you can grudge race all night long, get as many runs as you want, or try to get in from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Along with our TNT, we'll be in there, squeeze them into, and it'll be a good chance for the NorCal nostalgia cars to get some of the cars running down the track before they come in on Saturday and Sunday. So again, that'll be Friday, our first grudge night of racing. And then again, that starts at 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then on Saturday, it'll be round number 3 for our Summit ET and Junior Drags. Summit Junior Challenge also that weekend on Saturday. And then our NorCal Nostalgia program will get underway as well. And it all starts at 9 a.m. Same thing on Sunday, the 15th, round number 4 with our Summit ET and Junior Drags and our NorCal Nostalgia and TNT. And again, that'll start at 9 a.m. Now, that's about it I have for some updates with the NASCAR, the World of Outlaws. Let me come over here. And I only have a few results from racing this weekend. Silver Dollar Speedway had their big race this weekend. They had the John Patton Silver Cup Friday. That's right. The Silver Cup race is back over there, which is pretty good. It's been gone for a little while. And 360 sprint cars, Wing 360 sprint cars. They had a lot of them. They had I think it was 5 heats and 11 cars per heat. So they had quite a few cars there. Let's see, make sure, night number 1. Okay. Justin Sanders picking up his first main event win. He won a lot of main events last year. Caleb Montgomery was second. Mr. Andy Forsberg was third. I think he just had a birthday. I'm not sure. Willie Croft was fourth, and Shane Golobeck was fifth. They had 45 sprint cars qualified that week or Friday night. Caleb Henry was with fast time at 11.670, and that Scoot Booten down that racetrack there at 11.670. And they also had the dwarf cars there. They had 22 cars in that main event. Oh, sprint cars, they had 24 cars in their main event, and the dwarfs had 22 in their main. Ben Wise picking up the main event. Ryan Winter was second. Danny Wagner third. Sean Whitney fourth. And Mike Gurnett was fifth. Man, there's a lot of names I have not seen or talked to for quite a while. All right, that's Friday night. Let's go to Saturday night, night number 2. All right, they had 24 cars in the main event, 35-lap main event. I'm sure that was for Friday night, too. Picking up the win is Michael Facento. Justin Sanders finishing second, so he had a good weekend. Chase Matnick was third. Sean Golobeck was fourth. Sean up there as well, having a good and Caleb Henry, fast time was Blake Carrick at 11.746. So those two guys, him and Caleb, were scooting around that track pretty good both nights. Dwarf main event for night number 2. They had 22 cars, 22-lap main event. Mike Gurnett finishing first. Ryan Winter, Sean Whitney, and Dylan and Zach Albers. Sound like from Friday night. Okay, let's go back. I only got. Oh no, I did forget one. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to apologize. I did not get the results for All-American Speedway. I'm in trouble. Oh, well. Let's go to Madera Speedway. Asphalt. I know asphalt's to get to the racetrack or driving on the racetrack to get to a dirt track. All right. They had their first MAP TV televised race, number 1, with the pro late models and the junior late models. We'll start out with the junior late models. They had 14 cars there, 70-lap main event. Brody Moore picked up the main event on Saturday. I think that's from last year. I think that's his 5th main event in a row from last year and opening weekend this weekend at Madera Speedway. Casey Klein was second. Lane Anderson third. Robbie Kinley was fourth. And Joe Kinley was fifth. All right. Well, let me talk about these junior late models. If you never have a chance, go out and watch these junior late models. Now, these guys are from 10 years old to 16 years old. And let's put it this way. If you got a daughter or a son or cousin, whatever, and I want to race with these junior late models, you cannot just show up with a junior late model car and think you're going to race. You have to be a proven driver in these late models. These kids have been around. They've been really, really good drivers, but you have to prove yourself that you can race a late model. Again, if you're first time there and you just show up, they're not going to let you race until you prove yourself that you can handle it, because these junior late models are like a step down from the pro late models they got there at Madera Speedway. A lot of different role changes, but they're fast for these junior late models. But again, some good racing from them kids. Again, from 10 years old to 16 years old. All right, let's go to the Pro late models with 26 cars starting and 99 lap main event. I don't know why they didn't go 100. All right. The winningest driver at Madera Speedway, Matt Erickson, picking up the main event. It's good to see him back in the winner's circle this year. It's a good way to start. Plus, he picked up $5,000 to win for that main event. Jaden Walbridge was second. Kyle Keller was third. Brady Erickson fourth. And Tyler Herzog was fifth. And that'll probably about do it again. I do apologize. I thought I had All-American Speedway down here for their finishes because they had SRL cars there that night. Or wait a minute. No, that's Madera. I thought I had the other one on, but I didn't. I do apologize. I'll have them up next week and do it real quick for them. All right, let's see. Scott posted Paris Auto Speedway weekly purse. Pretty good for the mods. Yeah, did you see that? That's a really good payout. Billy, go check out Mercedes Speedway on their payout, especially for the modifies. Yeah, it's going to be a good payout for them, too. Okay, Ron Christopher, Mercedes Speedway dug up. And yeah, I saw some videos, Ron. They're actually going to laser that track in. So everything's going to be at level, even. The turns, everything will be lasered in for that racetrack. And they're doing it this week as it is. As we speak, let's put the Alex Knetstead. How you doing, buddy? It's good to have you on here. Alan Japto, you better have a nice cold beer in your hand, buddy. Jacob Diaz, how you doing? You guys all ready to go racing here in the state of Nevada? And if you guys can, Jacob, Diamond Mountain having a 2-day practice there this weekend. So if you guys want to take a little trip up there, and we're going to be talking about Diamond Mountain Speedway in a little bit. But right now, as you can see down the bottom, my guest all the way from California is Pro Stock driver Danny Richardson. I'm going to put him up on the screen. Danny, welcome to Davy's American Racing.
How we doing, Davey?
Uh-oh. Danny, I don't hear your voice. Hang on here. I don't want to mute the mic. Why don't I hear you?
Does that work any better?
There you go.
All right.
I got to turn my volume up. That's what's happening. Give me another shout out here.
How we doing, Davey?
Oh, that's fine. Let me turn there. That was too high for me there. Say one more time.
How we doing?
A lot better. There we go.
Oh, can you hear me now?
There you go. Dan McGee says, I can hear him. Well, again, welcome to American Racing.
Well, thank you, sir. Thanks for having us.
Haven't seen you for a couple.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe 2 years now.
Yeah, I guess probably the front Cedarville. We did that for 3 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit here. But let's start off. You're second generation driver, right?
Yeah, my dad, Gordy Russell Sr., they all raced in Cedarville back in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to really get in. We'll talk about that when we get into the Cedarville part, but we talked about that this morning, and we'll get into that there a little bit. But how did you get involved with your dad?
Well, when you grow up around it as a little kid, either you love it or you hate it. And it was my passion. That's all I wanted to be. Those guys were my heroes as a kid. I didn't watch cartoons.
That's good. What class did you start out in?
I bought a hobby stock, ran that couple times, and about a year and a half, just here and there when I could afford it. And then I moved to Southern California, 97-ish, 98-ish. Chris Smith, all those guys that run down there, the 3D car and all them, about 99, somewhere in there, I bought an old Pro Stock that he was running because it was the fastest car I could see and I had the money. And then all I did was scuffle for a year or two, but I had a lot of guys help me out, and it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, becoming one of the best Pro Stock drivers around here, that's for sure. You've proven it, too. Ron Christofoli says, hi, Donnie.
Oh, yes. So Ron's actually going to help us out for some flyers here soon. I just talked to him the other day.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That's good. Thank you, Ron, for doing that. And we're going to get into it a little bit, like I said. All right, Pro Stocks. Here in Nevada, it was a dying class, and I imagine the same thing in California and part of Oregon for a while.
Yeah.
What made the big change like 4 or 5 years ago when the big change started?
I'm going to put a lot of it in the Gordy Russell and John Fighter. You know, they got that Nevada pro stock thing going on. I was kind of disappointed with a couple things that had happened. I went to Merced quite a bit, and it pretty much died there. And then I went to another track, and we had a little bit of success and got DQ'd on a tire rule one night that I'd been running for a month, like 2 months there. And so I thought, you know what, we need to go somewhere else. So I went over to Nevada with a 2-barrel, scuffled and had a lot of fun, and just seen what Gordy and John and everybody had going with the Nevada Pro Stock Association, and it rejuvenated everything, and the Tri-States came out of that.
Yeah, if I remember right, I think there's only like maybe 3 pro stocks in the state when I got here about 8 years ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it was just dying, and Gordy, like you said, just they were getting around and got the right sponsors, got all the drivers together. I mean, it was a little rough trip some seasons because they really couldn't figure out what rules to actually run with.
Well, and that's been the fun part about the Tri-State thing is it's a smorgasbord. I mean, there's guys on 8-inch tires and little motors, and guys with huge tires and huge motors, and it depends on the surface you're on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what makes it fun. I mean, you'll see a car roll in there, and it's like, oh man, that guy is a hot rod, but it depends on the track and where you're at.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I'm glad because I really like that class, the pro stocks. I really do.
Yeah, and you know, the doctor out of Oregon, was it Scott Lentz? Proved it 2 or 3 years ago. You know, I mean, he was on takeoff slicks. I mean, they were running flat tappet motors. I mean, nothing special at all. And that guy was, I mean, he was one of the hardest cars to beat for a while there.
Yeah. A lot of that has to do with driver skill as well, too. But again, some of those older cars, they'll whip those newer cars.
Well, and that's the fun part of it. You know, I mean, guys resurrecting 20-year-old cars. I mean, the one behind me, it's a 1992 Shaw. That car's old enough to vote twice over almost.
Well, I hope it's Republican.
Oh yeah. Yeah. With the fuel prices, we're going to need them.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that, but that's a different story.
We talk all night and never solve a problem.
I don't think what's his name knows how to solve a problem.
Yeah.
So, okay, we got this coming up. Let's get to Cedarville, California, which Gordy and those guys got it all started. Had their first memorial race there with his dad about 4 or 5 years ago now.
It's been 5 years because we did 3 years in a row and then took the last 2 years off with the COVID. Yeah.
It's been about 5. That's when I really met all you pro stock drivers more than I've already known you guys there. And they put on one heck of a race that weekend. That first memorial race.
I almost beat Sean by that much. He was broke. He was twice as fast as I was, but Sean was the guy to beat that night until he was broke.
He may be coming back, I hear. I think that's what you were telling me.
Well, so I think he's doing the A-mod stuff, but so Jeff is taking over and going to run the Cedarville this year. So everybody from Diamond Mountain's coming up there, the officials, everything. And so Jeff's been telling me he's been working on everybody, you know, just trying to get them to travel that direction. So hopefully Sean does come because the last time he was there, he won. Yeah. Why wouldn't you come back?
Okay, let's go that first weekend with the memorial race there. Gordy asked me to be the first announcer there, which I was really privileged to be able to do because I love going to that track. And I love the people that show up at that track. They have nothing but fun when we show up there once a year. Yeah. And I remember the first Saturday night that we were there, we ran out of beer by the second heat race. No more beer left. They did find some other beers. And then once we did finish the race, we went downtown and whatever bars we were at, we ran them out of liquor as well, beer and liquor. They weren't ready for it.
Oh no. Yeah. Well, the magnitude, I think there was 856 tickets sold that year for the just the grandstands. Yeah. You know, and they hadn't seen that. They hadn't seen racing in 15 years.
15 years when they closed that. Yeah, because that used to be a regular Saturday night track.
Yep. Yeah. And then, so there was a lot of talks, you know, about maybe trying to rejuvenate, but I mean, like Gordy running the deal. I mean, he's out there way out in the middle of Nevada. So, I mean, he's not close. In Central California. So, you know, a lot of locals have interest, but there's not a lot of local cars either. So, you
Yep.
know, the car counts and the things that we got were pretty amazing for what it was, because it wasn't like there was a local following or a local group of cars. Everybody traveled to make that show happen.
Yeah, we had guys from California, Southern California, come all the way up there. And I think we had about 6 or 8, or maybe a little bit more guys from Oregon, but it's more organized as the years after that. We kept picking up more and more cars, and
Yeah.
they just wanted to race with the pro stocks and the hobby stocks. Is all we had for that weekend of racing. And again, the race fans wanted it, they need it, and they wanted it back again. So that's what they've been doing every year. Again, last year we couldn't do it because of the pandemic, but it's come back stronger. Jeff up there in Susanville is going to take all his crew, like you said, up there, and they're going to put it on there. He's got his announcer, and we talked, and I'll be back there helping them announce the race as well. So that'd be pretty good too.
Well, and this year's going to be the biggest ever so far. So, we can actually throw it out there tonight. We got a 1 day sanctioning through IMCA. So we're running A mods, sport mods, hobby stocks, pro stocks, and IMCA stock cars. So the guys that are chasing regional points, things like that in the IMCA, you're going to get credit for it. And yeah, I mean, we're going to try and go 5 classes. We're going to open the track up Friday night. There's camping at the fairgrounds, dry camping or hookups. If you need hookups, I don't know the price off the top of my head, but you can do either or. Friday nights, I think it's $25 car and driver for practice, and then Saturday's the show. So if guys wants to get a few laps in and get a feel of the place before you get there, you can make a weekend out of it.
You know, we were talking about this earlier. Like I said, we run there once a year, but the track prep starts about 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks in advance. But I'm going to tell you something. That weekend, that track never gets raced on until we show up, but it's one of the most fastest, I won't say tacky, but good racing and side-by-side racing, even in the turns.
Yeah, and you know, I don't even know where the clay come from. It was a deposit that they found somewhere in the late 70s, early 80s when they built that track. And there's a discrepancy on some of the old timers of where they got it from, because we looked at trying to do more, but it's kind of amazing how it all comes together. I mean, the from the equipment, the motor graders, 100% of it's volunteered from locals.
Yeah, that's they do a heck of a job out there.
We've raised, you know, this year it's going to be a little more of a challenge, just because we're still going to do the payouts that we always do, with 5 classes versus 2, but it was to the point we've given your pit gate money back for B mains.
Yeah,
that we raised. Everybody's so involved up there.
Yeah, it's one heck of a race. Roy Bain, how are you going to park all the cars? LOL.
Well, so we've already addressed that situation too. So up behind the horse barns on it would be the west side facing the mountain. There's a huge parking lot right there, and we've looked at so all the big haulers, anything long or anything, will go up there, and we've got a PA system to where we can get to them in the pits, and it's actually, compared to a lot of tracks that we go to, you know, say Stockton. I mean, Stockton, I love that track, but when they get a full track, you're all the way out there on the horse track in turn 2 or turn 4. We actually think we have a PA system where we can reach it out there to where lineups, all of that should be pretty good.
I've been out to Stockton one time on 3 and 4. It was almost into turn 3 is where they were parking.
Yeah, that was what New Year's a couple years ago. I was somewhere between the straightaway and turn 4.
That was the last time we saw each other. That
actually we did talk.
I think they had it there. Yeah, I think it was that last weekend there. Okay, who else? Ken Newberry. You know Ken, Flagman.
I know the name. You know, Facebook. Okay. We're all famous on Facebook.
Yeah, for sure. He says, "Hope is all well for me." Yeah, Ken, I'm doing just fine. CJ, Lady Hawk, my sister, is on here. Melinda Schmidt is on here. Just got her as a friend. Yeah, Melinda's on here finally.
So Melinda is born and raised in Cedarville, and her husband races modifieds out of Oregon, and they're coming down too. Yeah,
that's good. Hi, Melinda. It's glad to have you on here. Horse barns, Melinda. Horse barns. Yeah, we just got done talking about that stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to be a good race. And I know we want to get that thing started. So, Ron, as soon as you can, get those flyers out so we can start letting people know.
He was waiting on me. I was so
That's right.
I just found out on Tuesday that we were going to 5 divisions from 3 divisions. So I told Ron I'll get all the info. We were waiting on the IMCA sanctioning to make sure that was good, and then I'd like to throw a little something toward payout on there too. So I'm waiting on a couple sponsors. So hopefully in the next week or two we can start making it, official and Facebook friendly and all that.
Yeah, we'll put it on your page, my racing page, everything we can get done. We got Gordon Russell. We've been talking about you, buddy. Just joined. Sorry, I'm late. How you doing, Gordy? I know you're not in the best of. Well, I don't want to say best of health, but your partner, we're going to miss him big time.
Yeah.
So,
well, and yeah, I'm glad to see Gordy just joined in. I like when I talked, him and John were the reason that the Nevada Pro Stock started. And then now this event is because of his dad. It's just those are a lot of the people that helped create all this.
Yeah. It's a good race weekend, that's for sure. If you ever get a chance, you people there in California, Oregon, even Washington, Utah, Idaho, and here in Nevada, make the trip there. And what weekend? I forgot what to write it down.
June 25th will be the race night.
Yeah.
The 24th, it's open for practice. It's actually worked out well. The Oregon Outlaw Pro Stocks, they've scheduled it as a points race for them.
Oh,
so
good.
Those guys are coming, and then. I don't know. I could throw it out here. I've had talks in the last day or two. I believe that is going to be a makeup race for the Tri-State Pro Stocks too. So it'll be a point race for both.
Is that the one from Chico they canceled out?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
a lot of the drivers were upset, but I can understand why they canceled it out. I mean,
the car count. You can only fit so much in a show. Yeah.
49 sprint cars were there.
Yeah.
And another 20-something dwarf cars.
Yeah.
They're like 30 dwarfs that showed up too. So
and I think they have. If I'm not 100% wrong, I think they have a curfew there too.
Yeah, 11 o'clock. They have to be done by 11. Any track that's on a fairgrounds is state owned, and they have to be done. Some of them are done by 10:30. They have to be done by 10:30, but it is 11 o'clock.
Well, you mentioned Roy Bain, so I mean that's if to the best of my understanding, I might run around with all of them back then, but. Roy Bain, John, and Gordy, that's more or less what formed the Tri-States. Is just back and forth, and I think Wairika was the first one they opened the rules up to.
Yeah, that was good. Like I said, I love this class. I like what they're doing with it. Finally, everybody is agreeing to a lot of the rules that are in the rule books now for this class. To me, it's just good racing. It really is.
Well, what makes it fun is. So, every now and again, you'll get a guy that wins 2 or 3, but for the most part, it's any given show and any given rule package,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of fun, like the old school days where guys get to use a little ingenuity and well, this little tire works better with this motor combo or a big tire with this motor combo. And so you can sit at home and feel like that, you've got a winning piece when you get there, and either you do or you don't.
That's for sure. But like I said, it brings a lot of the top drivers out from California, Southern California, Northern, Central, wherever, Oregon, Nevada. They're there. They're going to show up.
Well, and then like Lyle Hopper has joined in the last year or so as a big sponsor. And what's really fun is you don't know who's in his car. And I mean, he's putting a lot of big name guys in that car, that are coming out of modifieds, pavement worlds. I mean, so it makes it fun just to see some faces show up in it too.
Yeah, he's good for racing. I mean, the whole family's good for racing too. They've been around for many, many, many years. I would go back as far as 1970 with the Hoppers. So I started meeting a lot of them too. So, but great family, great racing family. Okay, let's see. Roy again, as long as we have Wi-Fi, it will be streamed as well.
Oh yeah.
Roy has done something. I think it's kind of like the future in racing. They bought a lot of equipment, a lot of cameras, expensive cameras, and the audio, video, everything to go live, whatever track the Pro Stocks are at. And they probably carry the whole race itself wherever they're at. They got their own announcers, so which is a pretty good thing. I'm not upset about it, but I'm kind of happy for this one. Winnebago Regional Raceway. I was their track announcer last year. They're going to be doing the same thing with a couple of the announcers up there at Summit Raceway. They're going live every race they're at. So they hired them to come in and do the announcements so they can have their races live as well. And there's about 2 or 3 nights they will not be there, so I'll be back up there filling in for them when they're gone on the weekends there up there at Winnemucca Regional Raceway. But yeah, I think that's the big thing in racing now. I'm going to be doing the same thing. I've got a couple leads on 1 or 2 cameras. I'm going to try to start doing that as well. So see what happens. I think that's a big way to go in racing now because racing changes. Kenny Shepard, Madera Speedway, is the one that really, really started live racing. A lot of the track promoters, biggest question, why? You're not going to sell tickets that way. People will not see races. Some people will not go pay some of the outrageous prices they got in races. Kenny says, I don't care. I'm going to put it up, which he did. It's successful and it's working. So,
well, and you're reaching people states away,
exactly.
They weren't going to make it anyway. So, yeah.
Now they're going to see how exciting these races are. And guess where they're going to be the following weekend at the track. Well,
and the power of Facebook and everything else is what's made this class grow and work and survive. Yeah. Just social media, all live streaming, all of that stuff.
Harvey. Hello, Donnie. This sounds awesome.
Yeah,
can you see
Harvey Bellantini.
Yeah. I think he was talking about you a couple of weeks ago. I think on Roy's show. I think he said something about you too. I'm not sure. Of course, I was probably half drunk drinking water. Okay. Okay, Roy, we will normally have the track announcer plugged in. Okay, that's good, Roy. Alan, that's twice you've been on here. How you doing? Oh, he says, hi, Donnie. Alan Shafto.
Oh.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good guy. He loves his racing.
Yeah, well, that's what it takes. Shows like this, exactly what we're doing right now is what gets the word out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the fun part about this is it started in the state of Nevada. I mean, unfortunately, the way the scheduling worked and some of that, we haven't really made a show in Nevada the last few years, but it's a tri-state for a reason. So hopefully in the next year or two, we can start hitting Fallon, firmly, get everything going again.
Well, Fernley is hoping they can have at least 6 races in this year. They're trying for that.
Yeah.
So but I think they lost their sanctioning for IMCA. Yeah. I got to check into that for make sure. And once I find out, make an official statement on too as well. Because it's
well,
in 1 or 2 years and you lose your sanctioning.
The last 2 years with just all the chaos that's been going on, I mean, you got to go where anybody can run, so so hopefully we can spread it and make it happen again.
And right now, it's just 2 guys out there trying to get that track started. 2 guys.
Yep.
You know who I'm talking.
Yeah, well, and I'm not 100% sure if it's the whole ownership or if there's a group or what, but right here in Oakdale where I live, there's some motocross guys and they have something to do with that part. And I know they've got that going, but just not the circle track part of it yet.
Yeah, they want to get that going. I'm not sure the new owners really are into that, but I know they took the turns down for one reason. They want to get AMA flat track races back there as well.
Okay.
But on the good thing, I see the turns in racing maybe 2, maybe 3 abreast when they brought the turns down.
I don't know if you can see, there's a brand new center link sitting on the top of that radiator of that car behind me. Maybe we can get it to turn in a flat corner because it doesn't turn in a bank one very good.
Yeah. I see it that way, working out really good too on the flat racing track. Plus, watering the track will make a big difference on the turns out there at Fernley.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So you water the turns, you can see the water just shooting down.
Well, and that's the fun part of these traveling series though too, is when you race locally all the time, you got your 2 or 3 guys that got it figured out, and the cream always rises to the top. But with this traveling thing, it adds a factor in, like Cedarville. I mean, it's a one-time-a-year deal, and that's it. There's no local hot shots you got to outrun or anything else. Everybody's all on the same playing page.
Same page right there. That's what's nice about that racing. Okay, who else is on here? Roy, track promoters have a tough thought battle right now. It's tough to schedule with all the big races every weekend. Exactly, Roy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big problem. But again, man, we got to stay in touch more and more so we can get this thing promoted big time there in Cedarville. I love that track. And the race fans, like I said, I've met some people there, and like we became really good friends that opening weekend. They stay in touch with me, not often, but they still stay in touch. When you guys come back, when's the next race? When's that? So I still get a lot of that too.
Oh, for
And
sure.
plus, the
I
people that
grew up there. I graduated high school there. I left home at 18, 19 years old. I've lived in 5 states, and I still call that place home.
yeah,
The
I remember,
people, the community, everything. That's just an amazing place to me.
I remember the first time I drove there for the very open weekend we had there, and I'm looking at the town. And I go, "Are you kidding me? This small town, there's a racetrack here, and they
You
used
know?
to run every weekend here." I said, "No way! I mean, you only got 10 stores in the whole town, if that."
Oh, yeah, I think there's 2 stores,
Yeah.
2 stores and 2 bars.
And we drank them dry, both of them.
Oh yeah, right. Well, it was a metropolis when I was there. I mean, there was still gold mining, a little bit of logging,
Yeah.
things like that. There was economy. I think I had 16 kids in my graduating class. I think last year they had 5, and they're still putting 800, 900 people in the stands every time we do it.
Why don't you give a shout out to the Heritage Club there?
Yeah, Heritage Foundation. That's when California cut the funding to all the fair boards and all that stuff for the small communities. That's who steps up, and that's how this race even came about, is raising money so they can actually still have a fair in those small little towns like that.
Yeah, what's nice about it too, they still work with the rodeos there, with the kids rodeos and some of the adult rodeos. So keep that going too as well. So good little town. I like that town though.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Well, it's home.
Yeah. That's for sure. All right, Donnie, it's good talking to you. Good having you on here again. Let's keep in touch so we can get this racing thing going there in Cedarville, California, as I like to say.
Perfect. I appreciate it, Davey. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for helping promote this, and we'll see you up there for sure, but we'll talk before then.
Oh yeah, we'll probably see each other before that too, somewhere down the road there. I plan on making some trips into California to catch some of the races there. In fact, I may be going to Oregon for one of the pro races up there, and you mentioned the track earlier, Northern California. What's that track there? Wairika. I may make one of the races there too.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say April we got Hanford, Placerville, and Stockton. So Placerville's not too bad of a drive for you.
No, that takes me 2.5, 3 hours to get there, and that's a nice drive for me too. I can either take the fifth wheel or just get a hotel, or do like I normally do. If it's a warm night, I'll just sleep in the truck because I can never make it home.
Yeah,
the races there.
We have Petaluma at the end of this month, but unfortunately, with kids and rodeo and wife and barrel racing and all that, I don't always get to do what I want to do. So sometimes I got to go be a rodeo dad too. So
yeah.
I'm going to miss Petaluma this month.
It's kind of nice if you want to come home to a nice dinner or something.
Well, yeah. It's never ending around this place right now. So
yeah, I remember those days.
Oh yeah. Well, and I got to join them now. They're 12 and 13 years old. So I only got 4 or 5 more years of rodeo with them. And then heck, I'll be up here all the time and the wife will be mad at me.
Not trying to get personal, but I still have this is a 45, maybe 40-year-old buckle from bull riding.
Oh, Bert, yeah. Some do, some don't know. I mean, I don't advertise. I rode bulls for 14 years, I guess, from 14 to 28. All my teeth are fake. I got half my body don't work quite correctly, but
I did this flat track and no road race actually on this one, a road race at Sonoma. So yeah. All right, Donnie. Again, we'll keep in touch, get this thing going, and again, thank you for coming on Davey's American Racing.
I appreciate it, Davey. Thank you.
All right, everybody, take care. All right, it's good to have Donnie on here. And again, I should have done this earlier, but I'm going to do this right now. Let's come over here. Do I want this one? No. I want brands. I got to put this up for a second. I want to thank Matt Fields, one of our new sponsors here at Top Gun Drag Strip here in Fallon, Nevada. Matt is the owner of Nevada Computer Works here. Does a great job. He knows his business, repair, upgrades, home and small businesses, networking, camera systems, cell phone screens, data recovery, virus and mole removal, refurnished PCs and laptops. Now, he just added some new work or new things he can do there. Cell phone owners, you got a problem with your cell phone? Take it in. You shatter your front screen, he can repair that as well. So any problem you got with your cell phone, take it to Matt Fields there at Nevada Computer Works on 959 West Williams Avenue. A lot of people in the area, that's where the old DMV was at, and that same shopping center right there. Again, Matt Fields was Nevada Computer. Again, I want to thank him for coming aboard this year at Top Gun Raceway. Go to my comments here real quick. All right, I got another Facebook user. Thank good to see Donnie Richardson. Facebook user, put your name down someplace so I know who it is. Gordon Russell, great job, guys. Thank you, Gordy. Hey, I haven't seen you for a while, but we need to get together if we ever get a chance to do some talking and sit down and have a cup of coffee or something. I gotta say this. Since we're talking about coffee and drink or whatever, it's been almost 5 to 6 months now. I have not had any beer or wine or anything, so I'm doing pretty good. At least I think it is. My body feels a little bit better after all them years of drinking Coors Light and everything else. But again, I had to put that in there. All right, if anybody wants to call in real quick, I'll stay on here for a few minutes more. Let me get the phone number up here, and you can talk about whatever you want. And there's the number right there. If you want to call in, we'll talk about drag racing, asphalt racing, dirt racing, whatever you want. Or do you want to talk about our so-called, let's put the, thank you, Brandon. No, I don't want to even go there. I don't even want to go there. So, but if you want to call in, the phones are ready. We'll go from there. And again, I know I wanted to say something here. Let's see. Oh, I could go back up in here on the comments here. All right, Ken Newberry, of course, the flagman out of the American Speedway. Can't tell everybody, I do apologize. I did not put up the finishes from over the weekend there with Spears SRL Tour being there. I printed it out, but I didn't put it on my copy sheet where I can read it off, but I do apologize for it. See, All-American Speedway, Roseville, California, had a jam-packed night with the Spears SRL Southwest Tour cars. It was a packed house. That's glad to hear that, Kenny. And I know those people have been waiting for a race season to start there, even though I love it too, though, but it's an asphalt track. American Speedway, one of the older asphalts around, same as Madera Speedway. But good racing at both tracks. They put on some great race. Another old track is Stockton Speedway, so another great track right there too. So I think that's 3 tracks we've got in Central Valley and Northern California area for asphalt racing. What else? See, who else can? So if you need any help, can you call me? What kind of help, though? Okay. Kenny, this show was badass. Thanks for all the info, Donnie. Okay. Where is it again? Chris, it'll be in Cedarville, California. It'll be up there in Northern California and maybe about 20 miles from the Nevada border in that area up there. If you was to come in the way you would, you'd go through Sacramento, maybe? I'm not sure. But get on the 395 out of Reno, and it'll take you right up there to Cedarville, California. You'll have to make a couple stops here and there, but it's a nice little fairgrounds up there. Good track they have there. And again, good race weekend. Normally, we only had 2 divisions there, the pro stocks and the hobby stocks. They wanted to keep the car down. Gordy wanted to keep it down so we can get the races in and out, but they're going to try 5 divisions this time. Hang on here. I got a caller coming in. Hello. Who's this?
Hey, this is Dan McGee.
Hey, Dan McGee. You're my millionth caller, so you get to win nothing.
Not the first time. Not the first time.
Well, first time night.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I understand. I think Cedarville's about an hour north of Susanville.
Yeah.
As I recall when Gordy used to put that out. And also, for the folks in Winnemucca, the first motocross race of the season is going to be there on Sunday.
Yep.
So if they want to see that, and it's apparently it's right next door to the Oval.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's walking distance, go out the pit gate there and you're right there on their motocross track there.
Yeah, so if you want to see some two-wheel action, Actually, I'm going to be out there too, so it's going to be interesting comparing gas prices. But I'll be there.
I don't think I'm going anywhere for a while with these gas
Well,
prices. It's not done here in Fallon. It's going to hit 5. I know it is, or higher.
Well, I got gas $4.99 at the station that I go to in Reno, and that's one of the probably the least expensive. I get down to Carson City, and when you're on the main drag, there's a Sinclair, and then when you get to the intersection where you split off to Tahoe and that, there's a Signal north of there, $3.59 a gallon. Excuse me, $4.59 a gallon.
I just saw on Facebook today in Wadsworth at the station there, on the reservation, it's like $3.40 something a gallon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
They can get away with it. I don't think they have to pay the taxes we have to, the other stations have to pay, or the state of Nevada and all that.
I didn't even know they had a gas station on the reservation. I may have to go through Wadsworth on the way home.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. If I have to go to Reno, that's where I'm going to get my gas if it stays like that.
Yep. I don't know what it is in Fernley now, but I know last time I was out there, it was only 3 cents less than Reno. And one of the guys that was at the Nightingale race for Moran said that diesel was cheaper in Reno than it was in Fernley. So he was kind of surprised.
Well, there's some Facebook pictures up in California, $9 a gallon.
Yeah, my brother's coming up Friday from LA, said it's over $5 a gallon in Los Angeles.
Yeah, $5 to $6 to $7 to $8 to $9 a gallon right now in California, Southern California mostly. Then did you hear what their great governor said? He's thinking about giving a tax back on the refunds to the people in California, but doesn't want to do anything but promote his green state and add more money to it.
Oh yeah, I know. Governor know nothing. Yeah, I know. But anyway, what I'm kind of going to be interested to see what impact that has on the overall rider count on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then also, I think what's going to happen, this is just speculation on my part, is that I think a lot of drivers are going to stay close to their home track this year until that fuel thing. Because, I mean, when you're hauling a trailer with a car or a dragster or even a trailer with a motorcycle or two, it's gonna have a pretty big impact on you.
Oh yeah, you can see the gas gauge just like my truck does. Give me, feed me.
Amazing there, but yeah, racing's getting going. I mean,
yeah,
on the national, NASCAR's finishing off this Western Swing, and actually I like the way they do it. And then and I think the World of Outlaws are headed out here once or twice.
They'll start in, let's see, first race will be at Thunderbolt. They're in Tulare, California for 2 nights. Then they'll go to Merced, California, and then Ocean Speedway in Watsonville, California, Bakersfield Speedway there in Bakersfield, and their final run in California will be at Paris Auto Speedway. That would be a good trip to go see them down there in Paris. That's a sprint car track right there.
Yeah, I know. I've seen. You've shown some pictures of it. And I've seen that. And then of course, there was a lot of things going on. I mean, and I got to go back and look at Top Gun's schedule. I didn't realize they're going to have a nostalgia one because years ago the guy actually started a nostalgia series and then he had several difficulties ended, but that's how I met Shirley Muldowney. We should have that much vinegar in us, let me tell you.
I got a little story about Shirley when I met her at Baylands Raceway. We had our annual car show, which we always have every year there, and our banquet was on the same Saturday night. And we had Shirley Muldowney was our guest coming in. Now, Terry was the promoter there. Came up to me and right after getting done what I was doing at the racetrack, she says, I've got a favor to ask you. I'm like, well, what is it, Terry? I'm not going to say no to you. He says, will you escort Shirley Muldowney all weekend? I said, you want me to say no? I'm going to say yes to that. So that's how I met Shirley for the weekend. Now, we went down to, I think about 4 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon, took her downstairs for a meet and greet and autograph session down there. And I'm sitting in the background, she's doing her thing. And one guy was, man, your wife looks good. I wish it was my wife. So that's how I met Shirley. So
Yeah, so yeah, I know. It was pretty fun. Actually, I think Don Garlitz was out there that day too, and so I've gotten to interview him twice. But I mean, racing's going, and I figure Big Daddy will probably show up at the Gator Nationals too, because that's real close to where he lives.
well, they always get those guys out there for bring their cars out there, an autograph session and everything. The fans,
Sure,
they
why
know
not?
who he is, so they want to come out and see him.
Heck yeah! I mean,
Those are our childhood
time.
heroes growing up.
Yeah, and and then there's new heroes coming up, and and some of the younger drivers. I always ask the motocross people, well, who were you a fan of when you were growing up, and then what was your reaction when you started getting fans? They've got some pretty interesting answers to that. But
I still remember my first autograph I ever had. A little 5-year-old kid came up, says, "I don't know who you are, but I want your autograph. I like your car."
Well, that's like who was it? Oh, John Denver was in a concert, and I've got his Christmas CD, and he's with a youth choir in Washington D.C. And one little girls, when they were doing rehearsal, said, well, "I don't know who you are, but my mother's really excited that we're singing with you."
Yeah, I wasn't too big of a fan of John Denver. Maybe one or two of his songs, and that was about
Yeah,
it.
you got to kind of like that music. I mean, there's various kind of like I got introduced to a song.
Colorado.
Yeah. Well, Moto, who sadly has passed, he was a well-known announcer around here. He had the song one time called "Dirt Bike Rider."
Hmm.
It's from the two-stroke era, and I just sat there and laughed my head off listening to this thing. But it's a great little song. But every kind of every time sport of racing, doesn't matter what you're doing, there's somebody made a song or two about
Oh yeah. That's for sure. I don't think anybody ever made one. Well, yeah, they did make one for Indy, I think.
I thought so. But and who's the guy that? Oh, I can see him. Used to sing back home in Indiana.
Yeah, I was just thinking of it. Jim Neighbors.
Yes,
That's the only song I know that relates to IndyCar drivers.
He was in our show when we had Hello Hollywood Hello. He was a great guy. He used to go have dinner with the employees down in the cafeteria, and I was at a party, and he's sitting right across the table from me, and he's telling the best jokes you ever heard in your life. He was just he was just a down to earth kind of guy.
Yeah, he was.
And, it was great to meet him. But yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna hang up here. I got my preview article to write, and then I got a report to do. So
and when will that be out?
The preview article on nvracingnews.com will be posted sometime later this evening. It's out tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. And I'll make sure I read it. And I know my name won't be in there, but that's okay.
Well, no, I've been kind of plugging your show in my other racing news.
Oh, that's good. Thank you, Dan.
Anyway, you take care, Davey.
All right, Dan, we'll see you probably in a couple of weeks.
Yep, probably so.
All right, take care, Dan. Thanks for calling in.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Good to always talk to Dan McGee. Okay, Alan Shafto, Big Daddy, was down in the March meet last weekend. Yes, he was there. I forgot about that. Let's see. Dan McCormick. Gruesome Newsom. Well, yeah, that's for sure. Gruesome Newsom. I don't know if a lot of you don't know this or not, but his aunt is Pelosi. Yep, that's her nephew there. All right, is anybody on here I missed? Well, that's about do it for everybody. Let's see. Did I miss? Doesn't look like. Again, I want to thank Melinda, first time listener on the show. In fact, I just invited her about 20 minutes before we went on the air. Good friend with a lot of people, let's put it that way. With Donnie especially. Roy, are you going to park all those cars? I still like that comment, Roy. Are you going to park all those cars? When there's a way, there's a will. When there's a will, there's a way. So, that's it. Good to have Alex on here. Billy Griffin, Glenn Ford. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody, so I can say hi to them again. Isaac Reed, Brian Childress, that was good. Looks like that's about it. And again, if you want to check out the
Unknown caller.
somebody from Merced, California, I bet you I know who it is. Hello, this is Davey.
Hey, Davey, it's Ellie.
How you doing?
Hey, about this weekend, we're having a monster truck, and not this Friday and Saturday, just letting you know.
And it's this Saturday?
Yeah, this Saturday and Friday.
Oh, cool. That'd be good. Tell them what's going to be happening there besides that. Anything else?
That's all. We are having the monster trucks this Friday and Saturday, and I will be posting up all the information on my post.
You know, I'm really sorry. I saw that earlier on Facebook, and I forgot to write that down too because I wanted to let everybody know about the monster trucks being there this weekend at Merced Speedway. In fact, they're all over town with some of the monster trucks being displayed for the weekend there. So, can they buy tickets online, or is it all being sold right there at the track?
It'll be sold online and at the track when you guys get in there. It's like $20 for adults.
Oh, it'll be jam packed regardless what they got to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kids. Daddy, mommy, let's go. Daddy, mommy, let's go. And guess what? They're there. Yeah, I like to watch those monster trucks there. I've announced a couple of their big shows, and I have a thrill watching them too. Okay. Anything else happening there at Merced Speedway besides this weekend?
Next weekend is opening night. Is World Outlaws, Hobby Stocks, and Sports Mod.
That'll be Friday night, March the 18th,
Yeah.
right there at Merced Speedway, Merced, California. They can go to the Facebook page or their regular page to get all of the information, right?
Yeah, and then also you guys can go on my Facebook page. Or
Okay.
If you guys,
Yeah,
if
sorry.
you guys can go on my Instagram page.
Yeah,
too.
you need to start putting more posters up for them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to give you a call because I know you like going lives every now and then. I'll give you a call, give you a couple of helpful hints on what to do and what not to say and what to say.
Yeah.
And don't forget, hopefully next month I'll be there for the Al Midland Memorial Race, and we're going to have a beer together. Even though I haven't had a beer in 5 or 6 months, I promised you I would have one beer because you turned 21.
Yes, I know, Davey.
All right. Thanks for calling in, and hope I see you next month.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So Sandoval there, she's a little Miss Merced Speedway there, which is good. Oh, I miss my good buddy Leo R. Mayfield. How you doing? I don't know if he's still on here. Hello, legend. I don't know why everybody calls me a legend. Oh, you know what? For those of you who are still on here, I'm not sure how many are still on here. Over up at Chico Silver Dollar Raceway over the weekend on Friday night, they were live on Flow Racing, so picked it up all over the station, wherever everybody picked it up. But there was about 2 or 3 minutes that both Troy Henning and Gary, the other announcer there, Thomas, was gave a big shout out to me, which I felt pretty good. I didn't get to hear it because I wasn't watching it, but I must have had about 10 or 15 phone calls right after that telling him a big shout out. And so it made me feel pretty good. I wish I would have did tune it in to hear him talk about that. Like I said, I don't know if it was more than 2 minutes at the most there, but normally you don't really hear that from the announcers there, you know, praising other people like they did me that night there. They like to keep things going, and but it felt good. And then I must have had at least 10 emails as well. Hey, did you catch the show? No, I didn't. I wish I did there, but it was pretty good. All right, everybody. I want to thank you for tuning in on Davey's American Racing. Again, if you want to go racing at a racetrack this weekend, go to their websites, because I know in California they're still threatening weather there this coming weekend. Same as here in Nevada. We haven't really had any big raindrops or anything. That last week we had a little bit of snow there for 2 days in a row, but it was gone within an hour or two anyhow. So I don't really consider that a snowstorm coming in. But the nice thing about it does bring water to our lakes around here, which is a good thing. So I can go fishing. It's another thing I want to do tomorrow. Got my carburetor, not my carburetor, but my fuel pump. I rebuilt the fuel pump on there, which was causing a little bit of a mess, and got that all taken care of. I'll put that in tomorrow. And if possible, the lake here, hopefully the water's up by the ramp so I can use it, but I can put the boat in without the ramp, but I don't want to take the chance out there because I know if it's not at the ramp yet, there's a few spots on the lake that you can't really see. It's underwater, some of the islands, and you just will hit them with a prop or something like that. And a lot of those little islands do not have any warning balls that float up there telling you there's an island right here or something that you're going to be hitting. So I'll just wait till the water's up to the ramps, and I know it'll be deep enough to get out there. And I know some of the areas where to go slow this time of year. And then once I get out in the main lake, there's no problem going back to the narrows back there at all. So it's usually about 15 to 20, 30 feet on the main lake. They're going towards the narrows, sometimes even deeper. And that some places are about 40, 50, 60 feet there. So be all right for that too. So, but the sad thing is, since I emptied it out, I'm going to have to get my scanner back and do some little trolling where I normally fish at and record them all so I can put it on my mapping. That way, excuse me, once I got it on there, there's certain areas where I can show the shoreline 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 feet, and it'll follow where I tell my boat will actually do this. Follow, say if I want to hit the 5-foot level, it'll stay right at the 5-foot level, which is kind of neat. But I have to redo everything on there since it's emptied out because it won't be the same as it was last year. So I'm going to head for that and do that. But again, it's time to go fishing and camping. But again, check all the websites. Make sure you they are racing here again, and check all the websites for all the World of Wild, NASCAR, and all that stuff too for their races coming up, especially here in Nevada, because we don't start racing until either last week in March, but for sure the second or third weekend in April, they get kicked off around here in northern Nevada. And I think Ferromp starts pretty soon too. They got like 27, 30 races scheduled every Saturday down there. So that doesn't hurt us up here, and we don't hurt them down there. But we do get quite a few cars from Ferromp come up racing on the weekends here sometimes. So which is good to have them come up and race with us up here in northern Nevada. Rattlesnake Raceway, they do have their schedule for 2022. So go to rattlesnake.com or .org, I can't remember which one it was, and check out this racing schedule they have up for 2022. As well as Winnemucca Regional Raceway, Battle Mountain, and Summit Raceway. Did I leave anybody out up here? Lovelock, they got their schedule up as well for 2022. So just go to their Facebook pages, and most of them have them on there, or some of them still have a home page to go to on the .net. So go there, or .com, one of the two, or .org, whatever they're using. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next Wednesday, 6 p.m. right here on Davies American Racing. Have a good week, good weekend. Whatever you do, be safe, and God bless.